What surprised you about sex the first time you had it? Getting a blowjob felt weird to me the first time. I remember just staring at the ceiling throughout the date thinking so this is a blowjob. What I remember most about getting my first blowjob is that she asked me to warn her when I was about to come, and I was really focused on not screwing that up. Same with me. But she didn't suck. She just slid her lips up and down my shaft. Felt good, but it's not going to make me come. I didn't know what to tell my girlfriend she was doing wrong until I saw this comment. I have just been thinking it was me and didn't feel that great. But oh my god, thanks for this comment you made a teenager's day. She didn't know I was losing my virginity. Getting asked in the middle of humping to choke her out was something I was completely unprepared for. That's beautiful. That's beautiful RKAKAAK. You ought to know by now. That I didn't come immediately. The horror stories of what friends had told me that I'd come immediately had me petrified. Luckily, the girl I was with was patient and I'm pretty sure I lasted a whole 3-4 minutes. I expected to last 30 seconds, but in fact couldn't come at all until like the second or third occasion I had sex. After that I got over my nerves and turned into the 30-second man I always knew I could be. Same here. I was so holy shit this is happening and nervous that I never got there. Proud of you. How hard are peanuts gets? Like I'm not sure why, but before I touched her peanuts I guess I just thought it'd have a banana consistency or something. Young me was stupid. And like 5 comments above you she says how soft it felt interesting. I still get surprised how something can be so soft and so hard at the same time. It feels like warm velvet over a powerful reinforced rod. Like a thick metal cable, I'd imagine. Pliable yet firm. Go on. This may sound stupid, but the intimacy of it was a part I didn't even consider until it was happening. The entire act of taking off our clothes and holding each other blew me away. It's actually shocking how you can go 23 years without even noticing that you need to be touched, and then once someone touches you it becomes an essential part of your life. I've been single for 2 months after a 2.5-year relationship. I miss the intimacy and being held and hugs whenever I wanted them more than anything else. I'm kind of in the same boat. Then I remind myself that part of the reason we broke up is because my wife wasn't providing any sort of intimacy anymore. It's been a year since we split, but I spent longer periods missing this intimacy while I was with her. The clapping sound. So no one told you that life was gonna be this way, clap 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 clap. I just laughed so hard. Okay, so when I was in college, I lived in an apartment with paper thin walls. Like I would sneeze, and the girl next door would say bless you. Well, one night, my roommate and I heard this clapping noise from next door. So my roommate just started clapping and yelled, yeah, I can clap too. And that's when I heard the tiniest little gasping moan and realized that they were not clapping next door. We had to leave the room. We were laughing so hard. That waterbeds are not for novices. You should try a half-inflated air mattress. Hilarity ensues. They are also really loud in a quiet house. Regardless of the level of inflation, everyone in the house will know when you're fricking on an air mattress. Thump 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 thump. It kind of just happened and we didn't use a condom and didn't worry about it until the second after I came and then totally freaked out. Oh, and how completely exhausted you are after. If someone came at me trying to murder me right after sex I would probably just lay there and be like whatever. If someone came at me trying to murder me right after sex I would probably just lay there and be like whatever. Death is better than becoming a father. Is that what your daddy always tells you? To close to home. Just like dad. The vagina likes to make sounds similar to flatulence while it's wet. And there ain't nothing you can do about that. While it's wet. And there ain't nothing you can do about that. You could try being less attractive. Can confirm. I hear no queefs. My current girlfriend is like a damn waterfall and any kind of vigorous sex sounds like putting on and taking off wet galoshes. How tiring and sweaty it can be. The first time I was not prepared to end up feeling like I'd just run a 40-kilometer marathon through Mordor. Well, usually after the run through Mordor, what's going on in my mind? I can see the Shire, Brandywine River, Bag end, lights in the party tree, Rosie cotton dancing, she had ribbons in her hair. If ever I was to marry someone, it would have been her. It would have been her. At least there were no Uruks trying to slaughter you. Or were there? Well, he was certainly trying to destroy the ring. How weird, but pleasant, it is to see someone else naked. Oh my god, this. I didn't realize it till you said it. Up until that point, I don't remember ever seeing a fully naked person in real life. It was kinda surreal. No one ever talks about after sex cleanup. Bodily fluids are everywhere, yet women on TV usually just get up and walk normally to the bathroom. What's worse is the after sex 20-minute conversation in TV, film. Like, do you want a big sticky puddle around your ass? Because that's what happens. In my experience, that wet spot happens regardless of how long you lay there after. Cost dignity to the winds and grab a towel or wad of tissue or clothing you do not need a game tonight and just stuff it in between you both as you pull out. Ain't romantic, but at least you can sleep without doing laundry. How warm it is inside the female genitals. Fluids. Not just male fluids. In my experience, it's mostly the female fluids. Seriously, some girls create a freaking lake on that bed. Can confirm this. My fiance is one of these people. I regularly change the sheets. The dry cleaners think I wet the bed. I heard them talking about it in Mandarin. Joke's on you, white guy speaks Chinese. That it doesn't need to be a multi-hour process for both people to be satisfied. I've men is satisfying. For both people, events that weren't more than 10 minutes long from start to finish. How embarrassed I would feel about it. I always feel so self-conscious about my body, about what I'm doing and how I look. Even though I've never had any complaints. It makes it less enjoyable. Chest farts. Flabby tummy farts. How little room there is in the back of a PT Cruiser. The fact that you got laid while rolling in a PT Cruiser is no minor miracle in itself. A PT Cruiser is the Crocs of automobiles. Luckily it was a PT Cruiser, not mine. After the pain, I'd say how it made him feel afterwards. That sweaty, bleary-eyed look of wonder, pulling me close to his chest. Post-sex cuddles are the best, until you realize there's still a mess to clean up. No clean up. We live here now, in whatever the hell all this is, in peace. For those few minutes after. Do most girls actually experience pain the first time? My hymen is still perfectly intact. No pain whatsoever. I've been having regular sex for over a year now. I'm sorry to hear that it hurt. The hole is much lower. Also, women do not have nearly as much gooch real estate as men do. Very narrow gap between the two holes. Hulla, this. Before I'd had sex, I was making out with my girlfriend and she was laying on top of me, testing the waters to see how far she was willing to go. I reached into the back of her pajama pants to grab some ass. That worked, so I thought I'd go a little further and see if she would let me touch some taint, and got a handful of wet pussy. Wasn't expecting it to be so close. Hud up. I'd say you met your objective on testing the waters. They were in fact wet. I was surprised at how wrong I was thinking that I was ready for it. Well, if you still call it pop, then yeah. Girls have hairy buttholes too. Yeah, it's so hard to shave though. How could it was? Also, that I didn't orgasm. I just assumed that was guaranteed. I was so wrong. The whole placement. Imagine where you think it is, and go down an inch and a half. Joke's on you, I watch 16 hours of peen a day. Those are rookie numbers. Yeah, as a pubescent boy, you always think the hole is where your shaft is. But, it's more like where your sack is. Some girls' stepdads don't like to find you on top of them. What surprised me the most was the pure emotional connection and how intense the intimacy was. I never knew it was possible for one to have so much love in their eyes, but when my boyfriend and I locked eyes during the act, it was really life-changing in an emotional sense. That I pushed her hand away when she tried to grab my junk. There was some serious Mormon conditioning going on there. We got over it though. My initial reaction was, This is it? For all the hype surrounding it, I expected a lot more from it. It will get better. Trust me. Some have amazing sex the first time, most don't, me included. Especially me. Most sex was at least a little awkward for almost 2 years. Didn't properly erect, came where I did early or rarely, not at all, with 3 different partners. But now I have amazing sex with my girlfriend. Just give it time and practice and don't force yourself. 35-year-old female who just lost my V card on the 8th. One thing I wasn't prepared for was to start crying. I wasn't crying cause it hurt, it did, but I expected that. I was crying because it's been, like, 20 years and I was kinda thinking that it wasn't gonna happen. Then, it did, and it was just a really emotional moment. He was so incredibly sweet and caring though, and I couldn't have been happier with my choice of partner. Oh man. My wife on her wedding night was crying. It was so sweet. We had sex before, but I thought it was just so emotional, because we had just gotten married and it was a lovely night. Nope. I had apparently bonked her in the nose really hard with the top of my head and it hurt her face so bad she was crying. She just didn't want to say anything or stop, because it was our wedding night. Sad face. That years of jerking off to fricked up peen has given me pretty bad erectile dysfunction. Now when I actually want to have sex, I can't. FML. I discovered I had that problem when I first had sex. Stop watching it and it'll fix the problem. At least it did for me anyway.